Hey, what's up? And welcome back to another sim video. So for this video, this is gonna be more of like my personal tips and tricks on how I manage my huge families in the game. But yeah, the Reeves family is my biggest family in my game currently. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 sims on the lot, including the dog. I used to have 10 sims on my lot. The family here, this is the dad, this is mom. They had an oldest son, but I recently moved him out. He got his high school sweetheart pregnant. So I moved them in, all 3 of them. I moved them in for a brief time. They lived in this little area right here. You can see there's a little messed up picture. But yeah, so I used to have them live here, but I moved the 3 of them out because honestly it just got a little bit too much. And also girl is about to pop too, so there's going to be even more sims on this lot. As a matter of fact, I think we're just going to make it up right back to 9 or 10. So my first tip is that I use mods to help with my management. Now this is optional. I understand a lot of people out there do vanilla gameplay, but we're going to start with the mods because again, it's quality of life for me. So the first mod that I normally use is the MC Command Center mod. A lot of people use this mod. Even people who aren't really big into CC, I still find them having this mod because it's really great for having full-blown control over your household. This is good to have because you can expand your household. The maximum sims you're allowed to have base game is only 8. So when you have the MCC Command Center mod, you can actually make the household bigger by clicking on a computer. MC mods, I go to MCC settings, I go to gameplay settings, and I go all the way down to maximize household size. When you do this, you want to make sure that you restart your game so that that can actually go through. Also, another thing to know that if you have a bigger household than 8 is that before you add your additional 9, you need to make sure that your game is saved, backed, and also make sure that you do this before you add any sims in. If you add a sim in before modifying your maximum household, one of your sims will disappear. So just make sure that you maximize the household before you add an extra sim, and that goes also for your sims that are pregnant. So what I really like to use this for is I like to increase my points. So I could do that with her followers, restaurant points if they have a restaurant. I can increase funds. I especially like it to cheat the info. So I could set the skills. So for example, let's say I was starting off with a completely new couple. They had no kids, anything, no skills. If I want to do a bit of storytelling, I could set, let's say I want them to be like a retired bartender. I can, even though it was at 0, I can set it to any skill level I want, and I can set it to 8. And as you can see, and she's a teenager too, but as you can see, I gave her the mixology. I can give her the mixology trait. And I can even make this sim pregnant. And mind you, she's a teenager, so I can even make her pregnant if I like. The MC Command Center, I can make a whole video about it, but yeah, overall it just gives you so much control over your sims. It's so nice. The other mod that I like to use is my UI cheat. So this is really good when I'm working in between sims that have completely polar opposite needs going on. So as you can see, the mom, her needs are pretty high. She's just going to use the bathroom. I believe she's going to take care of the baby. So this is a good example. So for example, I can see that the mom, she's about to take care of the kid. She's about to check on the toddler. I don't want the mom to pee on herself, and she's also pregnant, so her bladder is lower than usual. So what I'm going to do to prevent her from having that is I'm just going to bump up Sorry, my game is lacking. Give it a second. I bumped up her bladder just a little bit. It was really low before. So now she can carry out her task, and I don't have to worry about taking her to the bathroom or any of that stupid shit in between, because the task that she has going on is way more important, like bathing the baby. So yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete all of her. You see, I'm just right clicking and I'm getting rid of all of her sick symptoms. I'm even going to get rid of her embarrassed symptom thing. I don't know why she's embarrassed. I could also promote them if I want to, demote them. I can do their skills if I like, if I want to. I can also edit their relationships if I want to. I can change the weather. I mean, the UI cheat, I could pretty much almost do anything with this mod. So that's also really helpful, again, if I want to build relationships with certain Sims, or if I have some buffs that are just being a hindrance, then that's good for me too. Okay, so our next helpful tip for big families is rabbit holes, specifically rabbit holes that I find to be more functional than others. So, you know, you can see that we kind of have like the mom walking around. She's kind of like doing whatever. She's not like doing anything super important. As a matter of fact, she was about to go on the swings. So what I'm going to do, instead of having her just kind of like go around and do nothing, I'm actually going to have her use the Explore mod. So the Explore mod is from Kawaii Stacy. She actually has a lot of helpful rabbit hole mods. I'll go over them briefly as I go through my tips. But the Explore mod is one of my favorites because I can just get the sim off the lot for as long as I need to. So for example, I'm going to take her to get everyday clothes. It's going to cost her 210 simoleons. She's going to go over there, and you can see she's going in her swimsuit. I don't know why. But yeah, so she's going to go into a rabbit hole where she's going to come back with some clothes, and I'll show you guys that when she gets back. So the after school activities is also a functional rabbit hole that Sims could go to. So this is great if you have a lot of kids and you kind of need them to do something after school besides just homework, because the homework that they bring back from school can only keep them preoccupied for so long. Especially if you have a smart child, then they'll do the homework in like an hour in sim time, if not less. So I find the clubs to be really nice, the after school activities mod, and it's great because when they go to these after school activity mods, they'll actually get skills. So I'll show you, for example. Okay, so I'm gonna have Caesar here go on the phone and look for an after school activity, and I'll show you how helpful this could be. Notification wall is full. Yeah. I think one of the sons is about to come over for someone's birthday. I don't know. Oh yeah, so this is the oldest son. He's come to visit for whatever reason to celebrate someone's birthday. But anyways, yeah, so this is Kawaii Stacy's after school activity mod. Again, like I said, this is great for getting your kids off the lot to keep them preoccupied for overextension, so it's just not the homework that they have other stuff to do. So yeah, there's a ton of after school activities that she has here. It's so good. Scout is actually the one I believe that comes with the game. I don't know what expansion that's from though. So yeah, so for example, let's say we want to put Caesar into the step team. So every time that he goes to this after school activity, you can see it's literally right after school. He comes back at 7. He'll gain character values, he'll gain homework, he'll gain health motives, body fat, body muscle, dancing skills, motor skills, and fitness skills. These are all the effects that he'll get from it. And I definitely prefer this type of thing over rabbit holes that literally do nothing, because this has more of a purpose and it feels more realistic, because he'll actually come back with new skills or his already skills upped a little bit more. So then I can subscribe him to this, he'll have an application process, and then he'll be in the club and he'll be able to start his skills. I also have a mod again from Kawaii Stacy where the kids, the toddlers, will actually go to a preschool. There is a little bugginess here and there, like it comes off as a job, and also like you can't have a nanny there. Like it'll register the kid as still being at home, so you either have to have a nanny come to the lot and just completely ignore the nanny, Or if you say you want the kid to stay home, then the kid will stay home, and I don't think they'll go to daycare automatically. Other than that, though, the preschool mod for the kids and the toddlers is especially great, because they'll also gain skills just like the after school activity. So for example, while my baby Isaiah here, let's say he'll go to preschool. He won't go to preschool today, but he will tomorrow. Let's say he'll go to preschool. All of his skills will be in range to gain more of a percentage. So this works great for Sims. Like my Sims, they both work full-time jobs. So, they don't really have a whole lot of time on their hands to really get the skills to go up for the toddler. So that kind of mod is really great for your toddlers if you don't really have time to train them and teach them for their needs and their movements and potty, like all that kind of stuff. Holy shit! Oh my god, yo, this is atrocious. Okay, so like I said, I had the mom go out and buy some clothes. They don't have to be in these clothes. You could just go and have them go and plan an outfit, and then she'll have 2 outfits in her dresser that you could choose from. My next tip, I always, and this is more of a quality of life thing, but I always have 0 to no CC on my lots when I'm playing with big families. And the reason for that is because your computer is going to work a lot harder performance-wise trying to keep all those objects rendered. And not only that, but have your Sims rendered too. So I've had situations where I've had a big family with a bunch of stuff, maybe in an apartment with a bunch of CC. And you can actually even see in my previous video that I did, when Celia had came back to her apartment, which I had a bunch of custom content in, the objects had a lot of trouble rendering, and I even had some lag issues, and that was just from 3 Sims being in one spot. You can always get lots, I didn't make this lot myself. I actually got this lot off of the Sims resources, and you can get lots that have no CC, and if you're someone like me who has limited packs, you can also get base game houses as well. My next tip is I have at least one family member that's either able to work from home or one stay-at-home family member. In this scenario, both of my parents, they work full-time jobs, but I believe they both have the option to work from home. She's a programmer, so I know for sure that she can work from home, and Angel is a critic. I believe he also has the option to work from home, but I'm not completely sure. So let's say, for example, we take Isaiah straight to bed. He's not getting any of his needs met, just his sleep. And let's say that Isaiah wakes up in the morning in a really funk mood. So if like I said before, if you have the preschool mod like I do, then your toddler would go to school cranky. But in a scenario where that would happen and his needs were all low and he was just his energy that was high, I would have one of the parents work from home so that they could, just take care of the kid. But yeah, definitely I recommend having a and this is perfect, so I'm going to pause. Definitely have at least one parent that has a stay-at-home job so that they can help. The next tip that I have is that I let the teenagers help a lot. So already you can see that Clarissa is getting ready to help out her youngest brother. So the reason this is because Clarissa actually has a little bit of a parenting skill. She has about a 2 parenting skill. So this means a lot of the time autonomously, I didn't tell her to pick up Isaiah at all. She autonomously picked up Isaiah. You could literally, they're almost like mini adults. So I like to use them a lot, and for me it's a little bit of realistic gameplay too, because in real life, if you've ever been a part of a big family, especially if you're the middle child or oldest, you would know that by proxy, a lot of the time, you would end up having to take care of your siblings anyway, just because you're in a big household. So that in itself would give you a little bit more of an intention on how you could raise little ones. So for me, that's also really realistic, and I like to do that with them. And my next tip is that I like to let my Sims run autonomously. So if you're a little bit of a control freak, this might be a little bit harder for you to do. Like you can see, I've been running my Sims autonomously throughout this whole entire clip. Is she just staring at her daughter? No, she's spraying monsters underneath her bed. That's interesting. It's probably because her parenting is so high. It's probably why she did that. But yeah, so she's gonna use the bathroom. But yeah, I let my Sims run autonomously, especially when you have parents that have high parenting skills. A lot of the times they'll even take care of the kids autonomously. Okay, perfect. So yeah, because her parenting skill is high, her parenting skill is 8. I haven't chose anything for her. She's willingly going up to the toddler, saying what he needs, and he's putting him there to eat because his hunger is really low. Now, whereas situations where maybe the Sim doesn't have a parenting skill, or maybe you don't have that pack, I think it's a pack that gives him this parenting skill, then I can't guarantee that your Sims would autonomously do this unless they were adults. Teenagers, they seem to do it too. But yeah, without that pack, I'm not sure if that would be possible. The next tip is I save my games constantly and make sure I have my files backed. When you're running a huge household, I'm sorry. When you're running a huge household of Sims, more than 8, which is the base game amount, then bugginess in your game is almost guaranteed to happen. I remember, and I'll tell you this exact scenario. I remember when I had this family, and the son and his girlfriend and kid, when all of them were living here, and I had over the max amount of base game Sims. I remember I did the MC command, and I went to MC Command Center, and I just did a modify household in cost. And, you know, that was just a simple little thing. But then when I went back, I noticed that, but when I came back, I noticed that Clarissa had completely been removed. Like, she had completely disappeared and she was gone. And again, like, I don't know if that was because I went to the MC mod. I don't know if there was just some random glitch, whatever. But stuff like that will and can happen. So when it does, you want to make sure that you have a backed file, which is what I did in that situation, and I was able to recover Clarissa with no huge changes to the game. And otherwise, you'll be playing one day and then completely realize that one of your Sims that you've had this whole time is completely gone. So yeah, make sure that your saves are backed, that you're constantly saving, that you're aware of how many people are in your household. Otherwise, it'll be really easy for Sims to disappear, especially if you're playing vanilla. If you're playing vanilla, I don't even believe you can expand your household without the MC Command Center. So there's that. Those are generally all the tips that I use. Let me know if these tips are helpful or if they're not helpful. And yeah, I hope that this video was of service, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.